recently visited Cyprus. It is a beautiful Mediterranean island country. So it lies in between Europe and Middle East. So there is not a lot of tourism to Cyprus uh, going from India. So I thought I should make a video on this country because I feel that it is underrated, especially in Indians. But if you go to Cyprus, then you will come to know that it is visited a lot, especially by Europeans. But Indians are crazy about Europe, so if Europeans are crazy about something, I think we should also explore that. So I visited Cyprus so I have all the points written in my tab here, so that I don't miss out on any details and I'll cover everything comprehensively. So I made the trip in first week of July this year, and the primary purpose of the trip was not tourism. It was for attending a conference because I am a PhD scholar. So I attended the conference. It was for 3 days, but I had some time before the conference and after the conference also. And like whenever I could get some time, I visited the places. And I would say in a week I covered most of the places, not everything, but most of it. So I will talk about whatever I have covered, and along with that, I will give you points about where you can visit. And so, what is the ideal time to visit Cyprus? So, if we talk about the time I visited, it was very hot and humid, I would say. So it was around first week of July. So I think June to August, June, July, and August, these 3 months you should avoid. You should not visit in these 3 months. But before this, let's say March, April, May, and September, October, these months are actually ideal for visiting Cyprus because the weather will not be very hot and you will be able to enjoy the beaches as well, which is a main attraction of Cyprus. So next, what should be the ideal trip itinerary? So Cyprus is a small country. You don't need a lot of time to cover it. So I would say 7 days is a very perfect time to cover most of Cyprus. Although a shorter duration can also be sufficient. So you will be able to cover less places, but I would say at least 4 to 5 days you need to spend, and optimum time would be 7 days. So I will split it up into the locations. So I will talk about these locations one by one also. So in Larnaca, you can spend 2 days. You can spend 2 days in Ayia Napa. You can spend 1 day each in Limassol, Fafos, and Nicosia. So around total of 7 days. You can skip any one of the, like let's say out of Limassol and Nicosia, you can skip any one, I would say. But Fafos you should visit. So that is recommended. So how to reach Cyprus? Actually, you can find it out, but there are two international airports. One is in Fafos, which is on the, you can say, the west side of the island, and on the east side we have Larnaca. So Larnaca is well connected with Indian cities. So all the flights will transit through Middle East, let's say Dubai or Bahrain or Qatar. So the layovers will be quite long sometimes in those flights. So if you want, those airlines like let's say Gulf Air or Emirates will give you a short transit visa also. So you can go and explore that country also for 1 day if you are interested in that. So I would recommend that because my transit while coming back was in Dubai and it was around 20 hours. So I spent the whole day visiting Dubai, like I just whatever I could see in that time I visited. So that also you can plan accordingly. So Cyprus and a short visit in one of the Middle East countries also you can do. If we talk about the airports, they are in Larnaca and Paphos and they are well connected by bus to every city. So let's talk about Larnaca first. So Larnaca is a major city in Cyprus. It has the international airport. So it has main tourist attractions I'll talk about. So first is the Church of Saint Lazarus. It is a medieval church. So you can go there and visit. It's a beautiful church. It's in the, you can say almost in the city center. Around it you will find many restaurants and other hotels and all places. So it is not very far from the, you can say the city center, but it's very close to that. But it is far from the airport. So that is there. You can visit the church. You need to be clothed modestly to visit it. Like shoulders and knees should be covered. Then just like you can say a 5-minute walk from the church, we have the Larnaca medieval fort. So this fort was originally built by the Romans, then it was taken over by the Turks, and finally it went into the hands of the Britishers who were there in Cyprus. Because Cyprus, it was part of the Turkish Empire, so history geeks will know that Ottoman Empire was disintegrated and taken over by Britishers after the First World War. So the Britishers had a brief hold of Cyprus for about 50 to 60 years. So they converted this medieval fort into a prison. So this now it is acting as a museum. So you this is a must visit. There will be a small ticket fee like 3 to 4 euros for this. Next we have the Finikudis beach. So it is just beside the medieval fort. Like the medieval fort is situated on the beach, you can say, kind of. It was like a protection for the city. So Finikudis beach is there. You can spend some time there. You have many gift stores along the beach, so you can buy some local souvenirs. It will be cheap. You can say less than 10 euros. And finally, we have, I would say, the most important uh, tourist destination of Larnaca, that is the landmark of Hala Sultan. So it is a monument built in the as a built as a memorial for Hala Sultan, a very prominent figure in Islamic mythology. So you can visit that. It is located on the banks of the Salt Lake. So it is a very famous white colored lake in Cyprus. So it is situated on the bank of that. So very beautiful place. If you visit in the right time, you can see flamingos there. Although when I visited, they were not. I think it was too warm for them. So you will see flamingos if you visit it in the right time. And there is the Larnaca Salt Trail that you can use. So the bus connectivity will not be very good to that place. So you can, you know, take a cab, or I myself rented a bicycle, and I like cycling, so I did it through cycling. Now let's talk about Ayia Napa. So Ayia Napa and Larnaca are connected, well connected by bus service. So there are many buses that go. So you can get a bus from Finikudis beach itself. So there will be a bus stop on the Finikudis beach. You can see it in the Google Maps. Maybe I'll put a pin to that. So you can catch a bus from there. So there will be local buses like the government buses, and then there will be intercity buses. The intercity buses will be green colored, and the local buses, like the buses which are operated by Cyprus government, it is called as OSCA, OCA I think, and they will be blue in color. So both of them will operate. Tickets will be around 3 to 4 euros, you can say, Ayia Napa to Larnaca and back. You can visit them. So Ayia Napa is a popular tourist destination. It is like a beach city, we can say. Many beaches are there. Many beaches, many resorts, 5-star hotels and all that. So beaches are very beautiful. So starting with the beaches. So first beach is the Nissi beach. It is located on the Nissi Avenue. You must visit this beach. It is very beautiful. Next we have the Ayia Napa Monastery. So this monastery, so when I visited, this monastery was going through some renovation work, so it was not open. So I just clicked some photos from the outside. Maybe you will be lucky and you will get to visit inside. Right beside the monastery, we have the Ayia Napa monument, where you can take some photos with the monument. Very beautiful. We also have the Thalassery Maritime Museum, so it will describe the maritime history, the ships, the fossils discovered around Cyprus, Mediterranean, Aphrodite rocks, and all that. We have somewhat, you can say, far from Ayia Napa, like around 15 to 20 kilometers, there is a city called Paralimni. So close to that, there is a place called Cape Cavo Greco. So basically there are sea caves. So along the sea we have a rocky structure, and from the force of the waves, there have been caved forms in the sea. So people go in those caves and click photos. So depending upon if you know swimming, you can go down and swim also. So yeah, that is there. So those caves are on the seashore. You can get bus number 101 and 102 from Ayia Napa Center to those caves. Then we have the Tree of Lovers. It is, you can say, on the main road going. So the bus will take you to the bus stop, and when you get down there, there will be the Tree of Lovers that you can see. It is like a tree. You can spend some time there, and then the right side road takes you to the Cape Cavo Greco. And a key thing about Ayia Napa is, like, people rent ATVs and buggies there. So basically, four-wheeled motor-powered vehicles. So you can rent them, but in many cases they will ask to keep your passport as a mortgage. So if you are comfortable with that, you can do it. And also you should have a driving license. Next, I will talk about Fafos. So Fafos is a beautiful city. It is a port city that they earlier used to use, and it was the capital of Cyprus before Nicosia. So there is an archaeological site. You can find like remains of old houses there. So Roman age mosaics are there. Very beautiful patterns in the on the ground. You will see them, and you will be amazed to see how beautifully people could make mosaics so long back, thousands of years back they have made mosaics, and there will be many of those mosaics which will be connected back to Indian history also, because there were many Roman travelers who came to India. We have the Paphos castle also. I did not get a chance to visit it, but you must visit. And then we have the archaeological site of the tombs of kings. So there were many kings in the Roman history, so their tombs were there, so that archaeological site was there. Limassol is a city. So city is famous for providing citizenship for around 1 or 2 million euros, although that program has been closed now. So that it lies midway between Paphos and Larnaca. So buses are there. We have the Limassol castle, and you can visit that. It is a medieval castle. We have the Molos Promenade, so it is a beach. You can find shops, gift stores, restaurants around that beach. You can spend some time there. We also have the Cyprus Motor Museum, describing the history of cars, buses and transportation in Cyprus, how it has evolved over the years. You can also spend one day in Nicosia. I don't have much idea about Nicosia, where you can visit time, so I would say you can maybe check Google Maps, what are the popular sites, and visit that place. So now we'll talk about, so this was the basic itinerary. So you can spend 2 days in Larnaca, 2 days in Ayia Napa, and 1 day each in Paphos, Limassol and Nicosia. You can modify it as per your preferences. Talking about some general points, so I would say firstly the currency used in Cyprus is euro. So Cyprus is not a member of the European Union, but it is a member of the European Economic Area, EEA. So it shares the same currency as Europe, that is euro. I would say Cyprus is not very expensive. It is like more expensive than Asia, but less expensive than Europe. So it lies somewhere in the middle, and it shares this with its geography also, which is somewhere in the middle. So it is not very expensive, I would say. So it is on the affordable side of things. And public transport exists in Cyprus. Taxis are also there, but taxis are expensive, so you will not find any taxi less than 20-25 euros. So taxis are on the expensive side. Public transport exists, but however, I would say the network is not very extensive. So it's not like London or Europe. Like network is not very extensive, but the buses will be there especially on the major routes. It's not a problem. So if you want to travel between the cities like Larnaca to Ayia Napa, Larnaca to Paphos, no issues there. So you will get buses, and there will be specific bus stops from you will get, so you will have to find that. So actually what happens is, like, if I give the information now, maybe later at a time it may change, so you should check it again. But as for Larnaca, I told you it is in Finicudis beach. For Ayia Napa, it is in the Ayia Napa square. Paphos also, it will be like there is a central place like Paphos Marina, so there only the bus stop is there. So buses are not very expensive, like cheap tickets, up to 4 euros you can get within the city if you are traveling, like Ayia Napa to Paralimni also, 1.5, 2.4 euros also, like different days there will be different fares, and it also depends on which month of the year it is. So like there is not a constant fare that I can tell you, but up to 4 euros, that is the maximum. 5 to 6 euros is like if you go very far, then only it will be charged. So frequency will be every 15 to 20 minutes. And if I talk about food, so there are enough vegetarian options, you don't need to worry about that. If you crave for Indian food, so there is a restaurant called Yummy India. So they have franchises, I think, in all of the major cities, so you can visit that. And a typical meal, I would say, would cost around 15 to 20 euros. So this will be a very fulfilling meal. But if you want to eat something light, that can come around 10 euros or even less. So I hope I have not missed anything, and if I have missed out on anything, maybe I will add it in the description box. And I have also made a video on how to get Cyprus tourist visa for Indians, so that I will link that video here. And if you are traveling to Cyprus and maybe you need some assistance, in the sense some information or some clarification, please comment it. I will be very happy to help. Thank you.